Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
It was supposed to be a celebration. Ada had passed another semester with distinction, and as usual, I booked the restaurant, paid the deposit, and even arranged for the complimentary dessert that had our family name scribbled in chocolate on the plate. I should have known something was off the moment I sat down. Ada kept glancing at her bag more than her menu. We were seated at a round table near the window, laughter from other diners echoing around us. My mother sipped her wine with practiced elegance, and my father complained about parking meters again. I smiled, nodded, paid attention, like always. Then, halfway through the main course, Ada's eyes widened theatrically. She reached under her napkin, then gasped loud enough to turn heads. "Oh my God, my ring, it's gone." Everyone froze. My fork hovered midair. I blinked at her. "What ring?" I asked, keeping my voice level. She held up her hand, showing the empty space where her $7,900 diamond and gold ring had been. A gift from some ex-boyfriend she conveniently never stopped mentioning. I took it off before we ate. "I swear I put it here," she said, pointing at the space between her plate and mine. Her eyes darted toward me. "You were closest." I laughed lightly, awkwardly. "Are you serious?" "I'm just saying," she said with a shrug. "No one else was that close to it." Dad put his fork down. Mom's eyes narrowed. "You know, Katie," she said slowly, "you've been under a lot of financial pressure. Maybe this was just a moment of weakness." I didn't take anything I said, my chest tightening. "Why would I?" Dad's voice cut in, sharp and cold. "Katie, empty your purse." I stared at him. "Dad, are you serious?" Now, with shaking hands, I opened my purse and began pulling out my things: lip balm, wallet, tissues, headphones. Then, to my horror, something small and glittering dropped onto the table. Ada gasped. "That's it." There it was. The gold ring, resting on the wood like a quiet accusation. "No," I whispered. "I swear. I don't know how that got in there." I looked at each of them, heart pounding. "I didn't take it. You have to believe me. Please." Dad stood. "Thieves have no place in our house." "Dad, wait. Get out." He didn't shout, but the words hit harder than if he had. My mother stayed silent. Ada looked victorious. I stood slowly, tears burning in my eyes, and walked to the door. No one stopped me. The door clicked shut behind me, and the cold night air wrapped around my skin like a slap. That night, I packed 2 bags and left the house I had kept running like a machine, unpaid and unthanked. I didn't cry, not yet. The betrayal hadn't sunk deep enough. I slept on my friend Leila's couch that night, staring at the ceiling, still dressed in the same jeans and sweater I was wearing when my father kicked me out. The ring, that damn ring, it kept flashing in my mind like a sick joke. They were so quick to believe I was capable of stealing. Just like that, I went from daughter to criminal. Leila brought me tea without saying much. She didn't need to. Sitting there in Leila's small apartment, I finally had time to think, to really reflect. And what hit me hardest wasn't just the accusation. It was everything that came before it. All the years I carried the weight of that house without a second thought. I had been the quiet engine running it all. I financially supported entire family, paying the mortgage, utilities, yoga classes for mom and the sports cable channel for dad, groceries, and Ada's university tuition. Although Ada had a very good part-time job on the internet and could pay her own tuition. While Ada thought her parents were paying for it all, her parents thought Ada was paying for it all. And none of them knew the truth. I sat up, grabbed my phone, and opened my banking app. My fingers trembled as I began canceling every payment linked to their accounts. Autopays, transfers, subscriptions. Electricity, water, gas, gone. Groceries? Not anymore. Yoga, canceled. Tuition, that would sting the most, and honestly, I hoped it did. When the last cancellation was confirmed, I stared at the screen for a long time, my heart still racing. Let them wonder what happened. Let them sit in the dark and silence, just like they left me. Later that night, I logged into my banking app. I knew the exact amounts. Ada's semester tuition, $6,450 wired every 4 months. Utilities for the house, $310 monthly. My father's insurance, my mother's Pilates instructor. Over 2 years, I'd spent more than $58,000 supporting them. and they accused me of theft. The next morning, the first cracks formed. It started with a missed call from Mom, then a second, then 5. She never left voicemails, but on the 6th call, I heard her voice. "Hi, Katie. The internet's out and the bank said something about your name being removed from the utilities. Did you do that? Call me back." I didn't. By noon, Dad was blowing up my phone. "You shut off the power? What the hell is going on? I can't even heat my damn lunch." Later that evening, Leela opened the door with raised brows. "You're not gonna believe this," she said, holding up her phone. Ada's latest Instagram story. She passed me the screen. There was Ada, wearing sunglasses indoors, filming herself with candlelight flickering behind her. The caption read, "When your thief sister takes away your light." Literal darkness, y'all. My phone buzzed again. "Dad." This time I answered. "You left us to rot?" He barked. "How could you?" "No," I said calmly. "I just stopped pretending I was part of a family." He sputtered. "Your mother's crying. The bank says we're behind on the mortgage." "You are," I replied. "You always were. I just stopped paying. Your sister's tuition is not my problem anymore." Silence. Then, quietly, venomously, "You'll regret this." "No," I said, my voice clear as glass. "I regret staying this long." I hung up. 3 days after the blackout, the silence broke. I was walking home from work, arms full of groceries, when a message from an unknown number lit up my phone. "I have proof. Ada framed you. Gemma." Gemma lived across the street from my parents. We'd exchanged neighborly smiles, once borrowed sugar. Nothing more. I froze on the sidewalk, rereading the message until my fingers went numb. A second message followed. "Check this. Don't show anyone, especially her." Attached was an audio file. I ducked into a bus stop and pressed play, heart hammering. Ada's voice. Smug. Sharp. Cruel. It worked. "She's out." Can you believe she just stood there looking stunned? She deserved it. She always acted like she was better than us. "Katie's gone. Finally." Silence. Then Gemma's voice, shocked and quiet. "Ada, that's awful." I sank onto the bench, the grocery bag sliding off my lap. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Ada slipped the ring into my purse. It was deliberate, calculated. My phone buzzed again. "If you want, I'll send this to her university. They need to know who she really is." I stared at the screen, then typed with shaking thumbs. "Send it." The consequences rolled fast. 2 days later, Gemma forwarded me the university's response. A disciplinary board was convening. Ada was under investigation for dishonesty and misconduct. At 2:12 a.m., a text arrived from Ada. "You think this makes you better? You've ruined my life. You'll pay for this." I smiled grimly in the dark. "No, Ada. I just stopped paying for yours." The news hit like a thunderclap. Ada Nicholson has been suspended pending further investigation. The university's official email read. Attached was a formal notice, stamped and signed. I stared at it, coffee in hand, the morning sun slicing across my new apartment's countertop. My phone rang minutes later. It was Mom. I didn't answer. She called again. This time she left a voicemail, her voice hoarse, panicked. "Katie, you have to stop this. They're talking about expulsion. Do something. Please, she's your sister." Sister? Now I was her sister again. I played the next voicemail. "Dad, you think you've won? You've humiliated us. Your mother hasn't stopped crying. Ada hasn't left her room." I laughed bitterly. At night, I imagined their dinner table silent. No warm lighting, no background music, no Ada boasting about her grades, no one asking about my day, no electricity. They were unraveling. The next day, Leela and I stopped by the grocery store after work. As we walked out, someone shouted my name across the parking lot. I turned. It was Ada. Her hair was a mess, dark circles under her eyes, her lips tight with fury. "You think this is justice?" she snapped, storming up. "You ruined my reputation, my education, all because you're bitter." I blinked, stunned by her audacity. "You planted a ring to get me thrown out of my own home, Ada," I said evenly. "You lied to our parents and let them turn their backs on me. I made a mistake," she hissed. "You didn't have to destroy me." Leela stepped forward. She didn't destroy you, Ada. You did that all on your own. Ada's face paled. Then, without another word, she turned and walked off, muttering something I didn't catch. As I watched her go, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness. It was raining when Uncle Thomas called. I was sorting books when his voice came through the phone, quiet and serious. Katie, your grandfather passed away last night. I froze. I hadn't seen Grandpa Henry in years, but I remembered his laugh, his puzzles, his quiet belief in me. He left a will, Uncle added. You should sit down. 2 weeks later, I sat in a lawyer's office, hand in hand. The inheritance was real, $9.7 million, all left to me. Nothing to my parents, no mention of Ada. Why me? I asked. He knew, Thomas said simply. He watched quietly over the years. He knew who deserved what. The next day, I bought a bright apartment near the lake. I donated $100,000 to a women's shelter, hired a financial advisor, slept without waking at 3 a.m. Then one evening, the buzzer rang. It was Mom. Hair damp, eyes tired. Katie, she said, we didn't know how much you did. We're sorry. She reached for me, but I didn't step forward. You never asked for the truth, I said. You chose Ada's word over mine. Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't invite her in. I closed the door gently. Later, I sat on the couch with a glass of wine, watching lights ripple across the lake. No bitterness, no regret. Just peace. Rebirth doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes it's just stillness.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.